talk to us about the cultural drivers in a dental practice.
Sure. So, in my opinion, everybody can drive the culture if you have the right people in place. It doesn't just have to be your leaders. But to develop that type of culture, you have to have strong leadership, and it starts from the top down. For me, I was really fortunate to work in some practices that understood that, and with doctors that had such a drive to build character in people and to build people that treated the practice like it was their own. I called it my office all the time. It wasn't his office or her office. It was mine. That's how much I was invested in the success of that practice and in the patient care. And so I feel like if it starts with the doctor that just really wants to develop great people and will invest in them with that, then you have a phenomenal manager under that, or team leaders. I worked with a couple practices that didn't even have managers. We just had team leaders. But you have to hold each other accountable. And I think that's what falls through the cracks. Confrontation is not always comfortable, but it's necessary. And so I think that is where we fall short sometimes in keeping our culture where it really needs to be.
Okay, so we hear this all the time. Okay, we hear that the culture has to start at the top, and I hear from so many team members, my doctor's not supportive, and they're kind of holding me back, and all of this. So my question always is how can we, me included, our podcast, you, team members, how can we help the practice owners become more culturally aware of helping team members grow and making it easier for them? Because I'm of the belief that more dentists want it. Yes. They've just been jaded or had such bad experiences that they make the assumption that all team members are lazy. Yes. Or not engaged, or whatever the right saying would be.
Yes. No, I agree with that. And I think a lot of doctors come into practices when they buy into existing practices, and it sets them up for some major challenges. There are wonderful things that come with buying a practice that's existing, but there are also sometimes legacy team members, you can say, that
the old
maybe
people
are not ready.
The originals.
I wouldn't even call it old people.
I call them the originals.
No.
You're legacy people, right? Where we would all be the youngest in the office, right?
Yeah.
I don't mean old people as an age.
Right.
I'm just meaning
that's what I'm saying. The original people.
Yeah, the aboriginals.
Yes. Yes, and that's what I mean. The people that were used to always doing it one way. You're sometimes fearful of reprimanding or trying to coach those people because you feel like they're your connection to the patients and you need those people, which is true. But you also need a great team. And sometimes when we come into a practice that's been established already, we're fearful to coach or to even, when it comes ultimately, let go of people because we feel like we need them. But I think that's a place that we really, really can improve on, is understanding that if you have the right people in place, the patients will continue to come there. Even if you let Sally go that's been there for 20 years and always cleaned my teeth. You have to understand that your culture is first, and you have to build your patient base with patients that want to come to you because you're there and because they trust you and your team, not just because of the name that was on the door before you got there.